Good morning to everybody. Today we are going to be reviewing graphs. The first thing that we need to do on question 1, remember that we're working from a worksheet that everybody's received in class. Question 1 asks us to state the gradients of the lines that are labeled. Now, what you need to be able to do is to do the jumping or the hopping method by looking at the line and telling me how does the gradient change. We are going to do it as follows. We always move from left to right. So for question A, we are saying that the gradient, which is m, is the change in y over the change in x. If I start at the leftmost point, which is that one, and I want to end there, I can only move forward, backwards, side to side, or up, down, left, and right. So if I go up, it's positive. If I go to the right, it's positive. If I go down, it's negative, and if I go to the left, it's negative. Now, to go, first I'm going to do the change in y. I'm first going to go up or down. From my first point, I'm moving 1, 2 spaces up. So that is 2, up is plus, so it's plus 2. So for A, it's going to be plus 2 on the top. Then I'm going to move to the right, 1, 2, 3. That is 3 in the plus direction, so it's plus 3. So for m on question A, the answer is going to be 2 over 3. My gradient is 2 over 3. Now let's do B. The same thing for B. Up is plus, to the right is plus. Down is minus, to the left is minus. Now for B, I'm going from the left point to the right point. Okay. So B, we're saying change in y over change in x. So let's do our y change. I'm going down 1, 2 spaces down. So that's going to be in the negative direction, that's minus 2. And 1, 2 spaces to the right. That's 2 in a positive direction, plus 2. So that's going to be minus 2 over plus 2. So m is going to be equal to minus times plus is minus. 2 divided by 2 is 1. M is minus 1. For C, up is plus, right is plus, down is minus, left is minus. I'm going to go from this point to that point. So first I go up 2, 1, 2. That is in the plus direction, so that's plus 2. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in that direction, and that is plus, so that's plus 6. So C, m equals change in y over change in x, which equals to y first, that's up down, 2 over 6, which equals to 1 over 3. Let's look at question D. Up is plus, right is plus, down is minus, and left is minus. So let's go from left to right. So it's going to be from that point to this point. First I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So that is minus direction. So this is minus 4. And 1, 2, 3 to the right. It's in the plus direction. So it's plus 4. So for question D, I say m equals change in y over change in x, which is equal to first the y minus 4 over then the x plus 4. That is equal to minus 1. Question F, m equals change in y over change in x. So for F, so I'm going from here to there. I'm going 1, 2, 3 down. So my change in y is going to be minus 3 over, and I'm doing 0 left to right, so it's over 0. Now we know that if you put minus 3 over 0 or any number divided by 0 into your calculator, you will get an error message. So for F, m is undefined. Let's do G. M is change in y over change in x. 1, 2, 3 down, that's minus 3. 1 to the right, that's plus 1. So m is equal to minus 3 over plus 1. m equals minus 3. I believe I skipped E, so let's do plus on the top, plus on the right, minus at the bottom, minus on the left. Let's do E. To go from here to here on E, I go 2 up, which means it's plus 2. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to the right, plus 12. So for E, m is change in y over change in x, which is plus 2 over plus 12, which equals to 1 over 6. M is 1 over 6. Question H. M is change in y over change in x. So let's go. We're going to go 1 down. That's minus 1. And we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 to the right. So m equals, that's plus 8. Minus 1 over positive 8. M equals minus 1 over 8 for H. And then finally for I we're going to go from here to here. So for I, my change in y does not exist. M equals change in y over change in x, and my change in y is 0, and my change in x is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 0 over 4. So if f is undefined, m has equal to 0. This is a 0 gradient. Okay, so what you've learned how to do is to look at any angled line and to be able to tell me what the gradient is by using the jumping method. Now, I'm going to give you a gradient and you need to draw the gradient on a piece of paper. So the paper that you are given actually has grid lines and you need to be able to draw it. Question A says draw a line of 1 over 2. So this is A. So I'm going to start anywhere. I'll start over there. And I'm going to do change in y. Change in y is positive 1. So that is 1 up. That's plus 1. And 2 to the right. 1, 2 to the right. Plus 2. So if that is my second point. So if I draw the line, it will look like this. Oh. Now forgive me, I cannot draw with a ruler on the screen. So this is A. 1 up and 2 to the right. Let's draw B. B is 2 over 3, which means 2 up and 3 to the right. So if I start there for B, I go 2 up, 1, 2, and 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. So that's that point. If I connect them, that is B. Now remember, you must use a ruler. I'm not able to use a ruler on the screen. Question C says minus 1 over 4. So minus 1 over 4 means 1 down and 4 to the right. So let's do U. If we start over there for C, we go 1 down and 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that over there is C. 1 down and 4 to the right. So we've got A, B, and C on our graph. Notice that I'm using different colors. You usually use only a pencil, but I'm labeling each graph with the correct letter. Let's do D. D says 2 equals 2 over 1. So all that they're saying is that the number 2 is the same as writing the number 2 over 1. So your y value is 2 and your x value is 1. So I'm going to start anyway. 2 over 1 means 2 up and 1 to the right. Positive 2 is up and 1 to the right. So I'm going to go 2 up, 1, 2, and 1 to the right. And that over there is, okay, E, the gradient is 1. And if we have a whole number, it's basically 1 over 1. So y is 1 and x is 1. So if I start over here, I go 1 up and 1 to the right. That is E. But another way of doing it would be if you continue. Instead of just doing it once, you can say, if I start there, 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right, 1 up, 1 to the right, which means that that is also E. So it doesn't tell you when to stop. Both of those are a gradient of 1. Let's do F, a gradient of -3. That means 3 down and 1 to the right, because it's 3 over +1. So let's say let's start over here. Go 3 down, 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the right. So that's what it looks like. Okay, let's do G. G is +4 over +3, so that's 4 up and 3 to the right. I'm going to start G here. 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3. So that is my 2 spots, and they look like that. That is G. Let's do H. H is -5 over 2, so that's 5 down and 2 to the right. So if I start over here, I can go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. This over here is H. I has got a gradient of 0, which means that I don't go anywhere up or down, but I go 1 to the right. So nothing up, 1 to the right, nothing up, 1 to the right, nothing up, 1 to the right, nothing up, 1 to the right. So my line is a straight horizontal line for a 0 gradient. That is I. Let's look at J. J is 1 and 1 over 5, which is equal to 5 over 5 plus 1 over 5, which is equal to 6 over 5. So when I do a gradient, I need a mixed fraction. So 6 over 5 means 6 up and 5 to the right. I'm going to start here in the corner, and I'm going to go up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's top to bottom, and 5 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's over there. And this here is J. Now remember, you need to use a ruler to connect your dots. K. K is 10. Unfortunately, I can't draw 10 on here because my graph paper only does 6. But K would be 10 up and 1 to the right. 10 up and 1 to the right. It would look something like the, okay? And then L, that's just a rough estimation. L is undefined. Undefined means that it has got 0 at the bottom, meaning that the x value doesn't change. So no matter where I draw it, the x's stay the same. And this over here is L, that is undefined. Okay, so you've now learned how to do the same thing in 2 ways. If I give you a gradient, you can give me if I give you a graph, you can give me the gradient. If I give you a gradient, you can sketch it in a graph. So now we're going to do a different thing. Question number 3 tells us, by plotting the points on graph paper, find the gradients of the line. So you have to do 2 things. First, you need to plot, and then you need to find the gradient. Okay, so let's do A. A is 0.00, that's there. That's 0.0, and point A is 0.26. So x is 2 and y is 6. That's over there. That's point A. So connect the 2. Now the question is, what exactly is the gradient of that line? So for A, we know that m is change in y over change in x, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 up, so that's plus 6 over, remember plus is at the top, so it's plus 6 over 1, 2. Plus 2, because to the right is plus as well. So my m is going to be 6 over 2, which is the same as 3 over 1. So for A, m equals 3. Let's draw C. Point G is 0 minus 1. So x is 0, y is minus 1. That's point G. And H is 2, 5. 2 and 5. That's H. Connect the 2. What is the gradient of G and H? So change in y over change in x. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6 up plus 6. 1, 2 over plus 2. That is 3 over 1. So m equals 3 as well. Interesting. So we know a. Okay, so here we say m equals 3. Let's do e. Point m is 3, 1. That's there. That's point m. And n is minus 1, 3. That's there. Point n. Connect them. So changing y over changing x is going to be from n to m. Okay, so it's going to be 1, 2 down. That's minus 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4, which equals to minus 1 over 2. M equals minus 1 over 2. Minus m equals minus 1 over 2. Okay, let's do the other 3. Point B, we're going from 0, 0. That's O for origin. And minus 4, 2. Minus 4, positive 2. That's point B. So connect them like that. M is changing y over changing x, which is going to be 1, 2, minus 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 4, which equals to minus 1 over 2. So m equals minus 1 over 2. D, k is 1, 1. L is minus 2, minus 2. That's L. If we connect them like that, we want to figure out what is the m value. So change in y, and go 1, 2, 3 up, plus 3 over 1, 2, 3 to the right, plus 3, which equals 2. 3 over 3 is 1. So m equals 1. M equals positive 1. Okay, and let's do F. Point P is minus 2, positive 4. That's P. And Q is 2, 0. Okay, let's jump. So we want change in y over change in x. Our y is going down, so we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4 down. That's minus 4 over 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, plus 4. So minus and plus is minus. 4 over 4 is 1. So m is minus 1. Now we are on question 4. Question 4 is asking us again to do two things. They tell us to find the gradients twice. The first one is to use the jumping method, and the second one is to use the gradient formula. So for question A, let's do the jumping method. We know that m is change in y over change in x. So we start at A, we end at B. Let's jump. 1, 2, 3, 4. Upwards is plus, so that is plus 4 over 1, 2, 3 to the right. Right is plus, plus 3. So m equals 4 over 3. That's the jumping method. Now if we're using the gradient formula, we will say m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You have to memorize this formula. I will not give it to you in the assignment. So that is equal to, you have got two variables on 2 points on the graph, right? You need to decide which one is going to be point 1 and which one's going to be point 2. So let's go with the letters. Let's say this one is 1 and this one is 2. So y2 is going to be 3. The number 3 minus y1 minus 1 in brackets over x2, which is 4 minus x1, which is 1. Okay, minus 3 minus minus 1 is 3 plus 1 actually. So that gives me 4 over 4 minus 1 is 3. And I'm saying m equals 4 minus 3. And as you can see, the answers are exactly the same. Question B, we're doing the same thing. So let's start we're going to do the hopping method. We're going to start from C and end at D. So D's over there. Let's hop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. M is changing Y over changing X, which equals to 5 down is minus over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 to the right, which is plus. So M equals minus 5 over 6. I cannot simplify it anymore. Using the gradient formula, I say M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You always write the formula first before you do your calculations. If you don't write this, you will lose marks. For every single question, you have to write the formula first. Okay, so that equals, we're going to say C is 1 and D is 2. So y2 is minus 2 minus 3 over x2, 5 minus x1 minus 1. Notice that I write two minuses because there's a minus 1 and there's a minus in the formula. So it's minus minus 1. So that is minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5 over 5 minus minus 1. Minus and minus makes plus. 5 plus 1 is 6. And my answers are the same. M equals minus 5 over 6. M equals minus 5 over 6. Question E. Question E only gives us 1 point. So now we have a conundrum. How do we resolve this issue? We notice that it goes through the point of origin. That's point O, which is 0, 0. So that solves our issue. Let's start with a jumping method. So we're going to go from O to E. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 down. 4 down. Okay, M equals change in Y over change in X, which equals to 4 down is minus 4 over 1, 2, 3. 3 to the right, that's plus 3. So M equals minus 4 over 3. Gradient formula, M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is, okay, so E is going to be 1 and O is going to be 2. So we're going to say minus 4 minus 0 over 3 minus 0. So M equals minus 4 over 3, which is exactly the same answer. And the last one, M equals change in Y over change in X. So from F to G, my Y doesn't change, so that's 0 over change in X. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0 over 5, so M equals 0. Gradient formula, M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which equals, let's make this 1 and that's 2. So we start with 4 minus 4 over 2 minus 3. So 4 minus 4 is 0, and 2 minus minus is plus, so 2 plus 3 is 5. So M equals 0. All right, so far so good. Can you write down the equation of the line with a gradient and a y-intercept given? So what I want is for you to give me the formula y equals mx plus c. In question A, they say m equals 2 and c equals 11. So if I'm saying y equals mx plus c, I say y equals 2x plus 11. Notice that this 2 is the m, which goes there, and this 11 is the c, which goes there. Really easy. Question B, m equals 4 and c equals minus 6. Y equals mx plus c. So y equals 4x minus 6. Again, M is 4, so it all gets substituted. C is minus 6, so it all gets substituted. Okay, so we're going with y equals mx plus c. For question C, the gradient is minus 3 and the c is positive a half. So y equals minus 3x plus a half. For D, y equals mx plus c. So y equals, gradient is minus a half, it's minus 1x, and the intercept is plus 4. For E, y equals 0x plus 7, so y equals 7. And for F, y equals 2 over 3x plus 6. So that one's fairly easy. They give you m, they give you c, you substitute them into the equation y equals mx plus c. If I give you the gradient, question, if I give you an equation, can you give me the gradient and the y-intercept of the equation? That is the question in this instance. So in question A, I'm looking for two things. I'm looking for the m value and the c value. So my m value is going to be 4 and my c value is going to be plus 8. In B, m value and c. Okay, for B, the m value is minus 3, c value is plus 2. C, the m value is going to be in front of the x, so it's minus 1, and my c value is going to be plus 6. D, my m value is minus 2, that's the coefficient of x, and my c value, my y-intercept is plus 3. E, my m value is not stated, so m actually it is plus 0x, so my m value is 0, and my y value is going to be minus 2. On F, my m value is in front of the x, so it's minus 3, and my c value is going to be 11. G, my m value is a half, and my c value is minus 5. Don't forget the sign. My m value on H is going to be minus 3, and my c value is going to be positive. I, my m value is going to be 2 over 5 for the x. My c value is going to be 4 over 5. And that's how we answer this question. Easy as pie. You read the equation and already you can see gradient and y-intercept. So for question 7, they are asking us to find the gradient and the y-intercept and then to sketch the graph. So we were doing gradient and y-intercept, so that's easy. Let's do that quickly. For A, m is 1, as you can see, and c is 3 plus 3. Okay, so we've got m and we've got c. Now let's sketch the graph. Where do I begin? You start at C, which is your y-intercept. So I start at point 3 on the y line. Now my gradient says 1 over 1, which is 1 up and 1 to the right. 1 up, 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 1 to the right. So my line looks like this. Now always extend your line past the points that you graph. Remember that your graph needs to go through the lines that you sketch. I can't use a ruler, but you have to use a ruler. Let's do D. D, my m value is a half, so m equals 1 over 2, and c equals minus 1. Now where do I start? I start at c minus 1, that is my starting point, and my graph says 1 over 2, that's 1 up and 2 to the right. Positive 1, 1 up and 2 to the right. That's my second point. 1 up, 2 to the right. 1 up, 2 to the right. So if I try to graph this, your graph would look like that for D. This one is D, this one is A. And finally, let's do G. M equals minus 2 over 1 basically, and C equals 1. So I start at plus 1. I start at plus 1 and I go 2 down, 1, 2, and 1 to the right. 2 down, 1 to the right. 2 down, 1 to the right. 2 down, 1 to the right. And this over here is what it looks like. This is point line G. All right, I hope that helped you. I think I'm missing, yes, I'm missing some pieces. I will put it into the other video. There's a second video coming up, so from question 8 all the way to 14 will be covered in video part 2. I hope this helped you. I hope that you understand. If you don't, you still have the weekend and Monday to sort it out. Please contact me if you have any questions. All the best. Bye-bye.